Interesting video. And I like to watch again because maybe we got right up to just about got up to the end of the video, namely this video right here. See Shakka, Polite, Divine Prospect, Gabar, Reggie Part 2. So I think we had actually watched Part 1, because I remember it was like 1 hour and 58 and some change, and then it usually like rounds it off to the nearest, So that's why it's the 1 hour and 59 minute video. You can see it right there. So the Part 2, we didn't really get to see the Part 2, which was uploaded about 6 days ago. The Part 1 about 1 week ago, and this is getting ready. You can see getting ready for the February 8th debate. This, I think, Kemet on trial, or the Hotep niggas, or the Egyptians, or the Kemites versus the Hebrews, and in particular, this particular camp right here, I think GOCC, Gathering of Christ Church, you can say is batting on behalf of the Hebrews. In other words, is the one that's stepping up to defend, the Hebrew Israelite, or the black Hebrew, quote black, end quote, black Hebrew Israelite, or black Hebrew Israelite point of view, from their camp point of view, against vis-a-vis Shakka, Shakka Ahmose, right? And not to get into all the different, you could basically look up his name, and, there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. And not even to get into all of that, because, that's not the main thing we want to kind of touch on here. But it was watching this particular video as they are getting ready, for the debate. Like I said, there was this video, and it's to be found at this channel right here, HOK, House of Consciousness with a K on the YouTube. You can see it right here, HOK, Black News 102. Black News 102, and it's a Sonetta TV, House of Consciousness with a K production. And you can search in the search, as we did, basically. I think we searched for, like I said, so it's only a couple of days ago, but they have a lot of new posts, and some things are similar content. It's the video, Shakka, Polite, Divine Prospect, Gabar, Reggie, getting ready for February 8th. And it is the Part 1. It seemed like the Part 2 actually got a little bit more views than the Part 1, almost 400 more views than the Part 1, right? And what's interesting is that some of I, elect Rastafari Ethiopian Hebrews have also been kind of discussing, hey, what you think about this whole, Egypt, or Egyptologists, or Kemite, Kemetin, Hotep niggas versus the black Hebrews, Hebrew Israelites. What you think about it? And some of the discussions there has been interesting. Perhaps we might even have a broadcast on Discipleship Radio. Please be sure to tune in, brothers and sisters. Discipleship Radio, 10 p.m., right? 10 p.m. Saturday nights. If you want more on that, go visit I at Rastafari Groundation. Let's just bring that page up as well. So if ones want to link with I, here's the website right here, RastafariGroundation.com, right? RastafariGroundation.com. And the Torah portion reading and feeding for this week's Torah portion, number 13, Shemot, the names. And it is the first reading in the book of Exodus, which also is very interesting. Israel in Egypt. And we're doing a series, Rastafari, in Kemetism and then we'll do the companion series, Rastafari Out of Kemetism. In other words, Rastafari in Egypt, Rastafari out of Egypt, speaking of this spiritual Egypt, right? And you can see right here, Rastafari Study Bible, or Bible Study number 13. And here's the featured, the featured on this. Let's just grab that. We might use this for a part 2 right here. So please be sure to check out Rastafari Groundation, right? We Ethiopian Hebrews, right, of the line of the tribe of Yehuda Society, and also some of our companion and co-laborers websites. You can also find the links there. A wealth of information, get it, mirror the whole page if you must, download it, back it up, cause we don't know how long, this opportunity for us to gather together and share and disseminate information. So please, be responsible, and make sure you back it up for the generation to come. Very valuable, this information here, right? Now, on this particular vid right here, right, it was interesting. It's kind of an interesting video. And in fact, from actually, I'm not going to say cheering so much, because we're not cheerleaders or nothing like that. But I liked how the GOCC represented themselves, Brother Elder Gabar, and also Iwasif, as they pronounce Joseph or Yosef, Iwasif. Brother, his name is not put there as well. He did a vid that, really got, some hits, because he was taking on the whole, Hotep niggas, Egyptologists, Kemet camp, so forth and so on. Now, Sarnetta TV, is, in House of Consciousness, is promoting this upcoming February 8th, debate. And in this video here, these 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, they were basically, I guess, going through the rules, the rules of engagement, the rules of the debate. In other words, tell me what you want to debate on, what's your sources, where you're getting it from, everything. So I'll be prepared. Tell me everything about what you're going to do. And all we're going to do is respond to you. We don't have any, it's kind of humorous like that, but it's still good to see that we peoples, regardless of whatever your particular, point of view is, you're a Hotep nigga, Egyptologist, a Kemite, you're a Hebrew Israelite, or one of these camps, that this discussion, long overdue, is coming about. And true, there's a lot to be discussed. There's a whole lot that's going on, so much things to say right now. But like they say, it's better late than never. And I would really recommend to I brothers and sisters, if they get an opportunity, check it out. Check out as much as you can, as much as you can, what I mean? But one thing was interesting. I noticed, because it seems like this is the revenge of, Shakka, Shakka Ahmose, right? Of Shakka Ahmose. He has a book out. I forgot what it's called, something decoded or something like that. I don't know the name of the book, but if you want, you can follow up. It got a lot of links out there and everything, positive and negative, so forth and so on. But in what Shakka Ahmose said, he made a point that I was surprised that Gabar and Iwasif did not address. And it seems to be the biggie point, or not the biggie, but one of the biggies that Shakka Ahmose is seeking to present to prove his contention concerning or against the Bible, against the Hebrews, or against these or those Hebrews, or however it goes. There's a whole lot of emotionalism that's also there. So, I hope that everyone mans up and it can really be not just an intellectual, but a factual and something that can really help ones and ones to know the truth and be willing to even investigate the truth, and not just, my team versus your team. Like it's like not intellectual, wrestling. It seemed like intellectual wrestling on a certain level, but, we know that all things work towards the good of those who love Ha Elohim and who are called according to his purpose. So even though there's some negative, some of the brothers say, hey, this, they look that everybody's going to be a loser in this. We, the elect, the children of the King of Kings, Jah Rastafari witnesses, we'll take the winner. You know what I mean? That's what we say. We'll take the winner. You know what I mean? If there is a winner in this, and seeing that the brothers, and we say brothers as being Hebrews, namely, let's click on this one right here. Bring this one up so you can see the video here.
You proved your point.
Okay.
You were able to stand on your circle and show them or present to them a series of facts that they were unable to disprove. So with that being said, in concept, you got some wins under your belt. But I want to tell you right now, in the spirit of intellectual combat, you ain't got no goddamn belt over here. Understand that. I'm here in the flesh. You don't got no belt over here. I'm a different beast. When I get on that stage February 8th, you're going to understand clearly you don't got no belt over here.
All right. So that's like the opening. That's like the beginning of this video. This was the video that we're speaking about right here, building up to this Egypt on trial, or Kemet on trial, or the Shakka, Ahmose, or Amos, I don't know how he likes to say it, but anyway, these are some of the stills right here, and they had like a pre kind of debate. Let's pause it right here, right now. The brother Gabar, he's on point. One of our Hebrew brothers right here that's seeking to, debate vis-a-vis, Shakka's people, this group, GOCC. There was something that Shakka said, and I know I'm kind of leading up to it. I just want to give those who might not, those in I Father's house and the mansions of Rastafari, a kind of, a better perspective if they don't know about this, so that if they're interested, they can check it out, so forth and so on for themselves, a little bit of background on it. But the main point, what's the main point right here? The main point was concerning, Shakka Amos's, he tried to say that Horus, he tried to use this point about raising into heaven was raised or ascending into heaven, allegedly of, the one they call Horus, right, on the third day, as being the basis for what he alleges as Christ raising to heaven on the third day. And he said it in the beginning when he finally gets the mic. He got the mic, everyone else get the mic and spoke their piece and, certain things back and forth to get a clearer idea of what's what, so forth and so on. Then finally it comes down to Shakka, and Shakka gets on the mic and he don't want nobody talking, so he didn't interrupt anybody, and he wanted just to say his piece. And he presented his book, gave a little bit of his biography, what his mama and everybody doing in Africa and this and that. And that was all very interesting and everything. And he finally gets to his point, and he brings up the first point about Horus. Now, of course, at this point of the discussion, in a sense of civility, one's listen to what you got to say, and then I or the next one come and rebut or respond to that. So I was thinking that they was going to pull him on that. Pull him on what? He alleged that Horus, right, ascends into heaven on the third day. And this is the same thing. He reads some stuff from his book. This is the same thing, right? This is the very same. This is the background. This is the context for what he alleges that Christ ascended into heaven the third day. Now, do you know what's wrong with that, brothers and sisters, or anybody who has a basic knowledge of the Bible? Did Christ, according to the narrative, according to the Bible, and the Bible version that you read, right? And if you say something contrary, I'm going to ask you, what version do you read? Right? According to the version you read, did Christ ascend into heaven on the third day? Right? Now, some people are going to think, what is a trick question? This is not a trick question. You know what I mean? This is not a trick question at all. I mean, the question is very simple, right? Some Hotep niggas want to say, well, the Bible was plagiarized, right? The Bible was plagiarized from the wall paintings and from Kemet and from Egypt, because some European Egyptologists, right, in their own confusion and, you know, wrestling with the Catholic Church and all that craziness, Babylon, because some of these scholars and in the Gentile European tradition, they have alleged this in a lot of their writings, that basically there's nothing unique to the Bible from their Western Gentile point of view, because they see or allege certain similarities in the Christ story with the Horus story. And this has gone forward. Even Polite pointed out the whole thing about the Immaculate Conception, how some see or read in ancient Egypt this Immaculate Conception. And some of y'all might believe this. That's another question right there. I think maybe Polite addresses that somewhere. I don't know, but he touches on that in the pre-debate, debate, really, but the pre-debate, rules of preparing for getting ready for the February 8th, event going on. But my question once again, did Horus, right? Well, he says Horus, Shakka Ahmose says that Horus, according to the information he provides in his book, ascended to heaven on the third day. And then he alleges that Christ, Yeshua, Jesus, right? He ascended into heaven the third day too. Now, like I said, that was in the earlier part of the vid. And they went around and talked about a lot of different things and everything. And then it kind of came back to subject matter and went over it again. And it was right at the end of the video where it came up again. And because we had the video on pause and some other, in ministry and houseworks came up, we let the video stay on pause. We got back to it. Basically, it had timed out and we didn't really see it was like the last 5 or so minutes. And it was at that point again. And I know Gabar, he was leaning forward. I thought he was going to say something about it. Maybe he did say something about it, even though that point was out there for a long time. And if you know what the Bible says, it says that Christ, he raised from the dead. He raised from the dead, or like he went down into the depths, into hell in that sense, into death, hell, and the grave, right? He raised from hell, death, and the grave on the third day, but he had not ascended into heaven on the third day. Now, it was very slick what, I don't know if he was trying to be slick. Maybe he thought he was wise. He was being wise, what Shakka Ahmose did. Because when I was listening to what he was saying, this is for the other part of Spiritual Egypt right there, right? So stay tuned. We have a couple of those videos up there speaking about Spiritual Egypt, right? But what Shakka Ahmose did,